I really don't appreciate the censoring because, like, we're nothing without each other. We got to have conversations to be able to build, you know?
Right. The point that I brought up with Clockson is that if you were to just remove meat off the table, do we necessarily have enough of the other things to feed the global population?
So you're saying for someone who meditates, it could actually physically help their physical health, like by meditating.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like if you have
For me, it's like letting go has probably been the best thing that's ever happened to me, because instead of me looking for the guru, I end up finding the guru in me.
It's going to be a byproduct of helping everyone else. Because when you help yourself, you're able to help other people. We're able to build together.
It's going to feel like, dang, I just got to this new level, and now I got to deal with this, now I got to deal with this, and it's going to keep stacking on constantly. Use that as your pillar of strength to be like, wow, since these challenges are getting stronger, it must mean I'm getting stronger. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there, because the universe only gives you what you're prepared to handle. So even if something feels like it's impossible, it's only impossible in your mind.
And so a lot of the important things that you guys want to realize when building is that no matter how grand the idea is, no matter how many people you have, it has to always start from yourself. Because if you don't get yourself right, you're not going to be able to build with somebody else.
See, that's because everybody know that, you know, the government coming after people when you talk too much.
Yeah. I mean, if nobody talks about it, then I mean, you know, it's gonna stay the same.
You know, Clausen, and I already told you this, but you were the person who inspired me to start writing my book. So I can focus and all of that. But you were the one who showed me in the midst of calamity and confusion and drama and chaos and all that shit, that's where all of your best work, or most of your best work, will come from.
People need dramatic examples to shake them out of apathy, and I can't do that as Bruce Wayne. As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, I can be incorruptible. I can be everlasting. What symbol?
Clocks in.
clocks in.
What up, Clocks in?
Soul fam, clocks in.
Clocks in.
Clocks in.
Clocks in.
My homie Clocks.
The Clockson sound like he need to come up.
Clocks coming up next.
My clocks in.
Yo, Clockson. Peace to the Universal family. My name is Clockson.
I don't regret this. You know, I used to regret the decisions that I made because I didn't understand where they would put me. But now I'm glad I don't understand. You know, I'm glad that my life is a empty canvas and I get to write whatever I want into that canvas to make it my future, you know?
Welcome to the Clockson Podcast. Peace to the Universal family. Welcome back to the Clockson Podcast. We have some very, very special guests, y'all. I've been telling myself I need to bring more of the queens on to the podcast. So it's like she was one of the first person that came to my mind with this. So I want to give a warm welcome to Shy the Goddess. I'm sorry, Shy the Sage. I call you both names. It's great out there, but
it's okay, honey.
Yeah, This woman right here is very special to me because like I've been watching her content. She's very spiritual. She has a lot of wisdom, y'all. And in my journey of my spiritual development, she was one of the people that I listened to a lot because she has a lot of wisdom. And unlike a lot of other people, because nowadays it's like a trend to be spiritual and make videos and all that, but it's like for her, she's very authentic and raw. And that's what I respect about her most. She don't cut. She has no filter. And y'all about to hear in this interview, she don't got no filter. So she might say things you might not want to hear, but you need to hear, you know? So I just want to give a warm welcome to the sister, and I just want to thank her for her content because she really helped me in a lot of times in my life, especially in my relationship that I was in. I wasn't in the greatest headspace, and she said some things in her content. I was like, damn, I needed to hear that. So I just want to personally say thank you.
Of course, that is I am here to serve humanity. That is my purpose, and it's just refreshing to hear that I'm actually helping people. So.
Yeah, you definitely are.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. Introduce yourself to the people, what you do, and also like what's your origin story? How did you reach where you reached today?
Okay. as Claxton said, I am Shy the Sage. I am 28 years old in this physical vessel. I am from Detroit, Michigan. So how I started my spiritual journey, I think my initial awakening was I got out of a relationship, kind of lost my identity. I was young, 19, 20, realized codependent, kind of did some self-sabotaging with it, kind of went in like a deep, dark depression. Went to the church for it. The church helped a little bit, but at the end of the day, I credit myself from bringing me out that hole because it was really astrology. So during that whole time, during my breakup, I was at my grandma's house. It was terrible. My mom, she was paying for my school at college. I thought I was going to be finishing college, at least my third year. She refused to pay my tuition. But in the end, I realized that was for a good purpose because I probably would have been doing something and got a degree I probably wouldn't have used anyway. So I was real depressed, relationship over, had to live with my grandma. Mom wasn't sending me back to school. So I kind of went into funk. So I had an interest because I was very hard to read my partner. So I got into astrology and natal charts. And I was obsessed for for months, like a whole summer. I taught myself astrology off of iPhone 6. So I'm so serious, dead ass. So, and it became an obsession. So that was my peak way into spirituality. Then ended up meeting, started working. I used to take an Uber to and from work when I was in Detroit. Met this one brother. He was very into Afrocentric movement. So he introduced me to Young Pharaoh. First Young Pharaoh video, hooked. Like, I think one of his videos was like, Black people are the chosen people, and he broke down photons, light codes, the age of Aquarius, and it's just like something in my brain from watching that video just sparked and became obsessed. I went through my little Hotep phase, my little, you know what I'm saying? Like, then joined the military. I remember one particular time. Yeah, I got some stories from that one too. In that particular time, I decided to get away from the Hotepism because I was really big on Young Pharaoh, but it seemed like Young Pharaoh started to go the more political way. And his content I stopped relating to because it's just like, okay, what's next? Like, okay, I'm God, I got all this melanin. What's next? So eventually I was at Christmas 2018 with my family. And I'm trying to share my newfound beliefs, telling them Christianity is a lie and shit like that. Them niggas wasn't trying to hear that shit. Them niggas fucking threw me to the wolves and they beat me down. So I ended up coming back to my military dorm all depressed and shit. But from that depression, I discovered magic. And then once I started to study, I started to actually teach. Okay. So it's like usually my rebirths usually come from traumatic experiences. And then from there, you know, now it's Shy the Sage. I was Shy the Gemini first. Had another death, and then now Shy the Sage.
So is that your sign, Gemini?
Yes.
Okay. Shout out to the Geminis out there. I'm an Aries.
Yeah, May 24th. Yes.
Cool. So you right there. Okay. Wow. So your story is very unorthodox. It's here. But that's something I can relate to too, as far as my spiritual awakening. Like, it happened when I was at my most depressed state, for sure. Before I created the persona and image of Cloxton, I was at a real down point. I'm like, damn, what do I want to do with my life? Where is my future headed? I don't even know my purpose in life.
Yeah.
And that's when it sparked, like, boom. Okay. And I created. So wow, I can definitely resonate with that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And so in that transition, like, what are some of the hardships that you had to endure to get to where you're at now? Because, like, I see on TikTok and on social media, it's like a trend to be spiritual now, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I just get the crystals, I get this, and boom, I'm spiritual, the most wise person. But it's like, it's not that easy. It's a lot of stuff that you got to go through if you want to get to a certain thing. And you talk about these things in your content. You talk about the shadow work and all it's not always up. You're not always, peace, love, and light, you know? So could you talk about, like, how is it super easy to be spiritual? You just
absolutely not. Okay. Because you know what happens when you get spiritual. So as I explained it, religion is like training wheels for new souls. Okay.
I gotta write that down.
Yeah, seriously. Okay. Some souls. Okay, so newer souls, they turn to organized religion, or back in ancient times, maybe cult groups that used to worship Baal and Moloch and all those. So a lot of young souls, they need group organization to actually learn how to connect with the divine. So this is why kind of religious people, you kind of got to have compassion with them, because they're a new soul. They're learning how to relate the physical with the spiritual, and religion and Christianity, Islam, and Judaism is like training wheels for that, because a lot of people need structure, which is understandable because they're like children in the soul. And what happens when you raise children? You have to teach them boundaries. You have to give them structure. You have to give them discipline, right? But then when you spiritual, you take the training wheels off. Okay. Now, most Black Americans are from a Christian background, the Baptist background. And a lot of times they would blame their misfortunes on the devil. Okay. I grew up like that. My grandmother was a serious hoarder. So when she would lose things around her house, she would blame the devil. But me being a perceptive child, just like, no, lady, this ain't the devil. This is just a result of your habits. But it's just safer to blame something else. So when you're spiritual, it's a little harder, because not only are you going to face being outcasted, you're going to face criticism. You're going to face not being accepted by the group, which is normal because human beings we're a communal species. Human beings are mammals. So being exercised from a group, usually it feels bad because the human being survival is threatened, because back when we were Homo erectus, we were hunting groups. We had communities, and we can kind of see those similar things as we are Homo sapiens now. We need groups and communities to actually function. We're not really solo creatures. Right. So you will be exiled, and you will be talked about. You will be called a devil worshiper, all different types of names. But the main concern when you become spiritual is you take full accountability for your reality. So when things go bad in your world, you can't blame the devil no more. You have to look at yourself and be like, okay, what is going on within me? What actions did I take for this to happen? What actions did I take, or what actions did I not take to lead me to this experience? So you can't be a victim no more, and you can't you can go to church to feel good, but you're only scratching the surface level of what you are, how you are, and how you can identify your patterns. You know, so when you're spiritual, you have to take full accountability for the reality that you create. So if you attracted a bad relationship, you can't be like, oh, this was the devil that sent this to me. No, I attracted this bad relationship because I attract patterns similar to my parental upbringing. And so as a result, I have to remodify my beliefs about my upbringing to prevent me from attracting these experiences. Is the average person going to do that? No, they're not.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility, Shy. You saying everything in my life is me? Everything that's going on is because of me? I don't know.
It's a lot of responsibility. It is. Mm-hmm. But when you break through, it's rewarding, because it's depressing to know, damn, I create my reality. But it's also enlightening. But it also can be enlightening, like, wow, I can create my reality.
Exactly.
You know, like, wow. So it's really a double-edged sword. It's responsibility. So, like I said, it's like training wheels. When you take off the training wheels of religion, you got that. Or if you know how you bowling and people get them bumpers, that's religion. Okay, support you. I mean, you're not really doing much work, but at least you feel good and your vibration a little higher. But when your bumpers is off, it takes real skill to actually roll that ball to make a strike, compared to just having a support on the bumper. So it's a lot of responsibility. And this is why I'll be seeing a lot of these TikTok readers. I saw a couple, they go back to Christianity.
I've seen it with my own eyes. Someone who did my reading. Few months later, oh, I don't do readings anymore. That's devilish stuff. I'm a Christian now.
Because because they don't do it's an inner journey, and they be taking them little, I guess, they can be taking a format from religion and putting it into spirituality, and that's not what it is. Spirituality is taking accountability for yourself in all realms: 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, and it's a responsibility that a lot of people. It costs to be the boss, basically. You gotta pay the cost to be the boss. You gotta pay the cost to be powerful. You gotta pay the cost to be God.
So how was that journey for you then when you transitioned to taking accountability for your whole life? How was it for you? Was it just super easy? You just boop? Or it was like, I don't really, because when you let something go, it's like, dang, you don't really have a foundation no more. I remember when I was coming into myself, realizing my power, and you know what I'm saying, like I am the God of my universe. I was like, dang, if I get to this point, I can't go back because I'm letting go of that religious mindset I used to have. It's like, dang, if I let go of this, it's scary. So was it easy for you, or how was it for you?
It was easy only because it was validating as a child. Like I never felt like I fit in with my family. I honestly have a theory that I was switched at birth in the soul, but that's a different story for a different time. But usually, like, I never really liked my family. I think I forced myself to like them to fit into societal structures. So when I discovered that I could have the ability to create my reality, the only downside that came with that was the scrutiny and being outcasted from my family. Other than that, it was just like, wow, I can really create what I want. This is awesome. But the price for it was exiled, being nailed on the cross, being excommunicated, being talked about in my family. Oh, she a devil worshiper. She's this, she's that. So that's the only bad thing. Because I was always a free child. I was always a very wise and perceptive child. So me understanding I could create my own reality kind of like it was like some baggage came off me, because my family, they real 3D. They real stuck in the matrix. Like anything the news say, the government say, they rolling with it. Anything the pastor say, they rolling with it. Anything that the next person gotta say, they rolling with it. I never related to that. So it just took the pressure off from trying to fit into a mold that I never felt I was going to fit anyway.
Gotcha. So it wasn't hard for you. You was ready.
I was ready.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's just that, like I said, the only thing that came from it was losing friends and losing family.
Gotcha. Most people can't cope with that. They're like, you know what? I'll just stay where I am because it's not worth the loss. So I see that. Okay. What's some practical advice you can give some people though who want to transition their journey? What are some things they can do in their life? Because like I always talk about isolation, knowledge of self. It's one of the best ways to get to where you want to go to, because you gotta know who you are. What are some practical things that people can do to reach their journey, or just at least start their journey? At least
be curious. Always be the fool, because the fool meaning in tarot there are the major arcanas, and the major arcanas just gives the fool's journey. So you got the fool, you got the high priestess, you got the empress, you got the emperor, you got the hermit. These are all evolutions of the fool's journey. So you have to be open, be a fool. Steady. Any subject that you're interested in. My gateway to spirituality was astrology. So my obsession with astrology kind of led me to other things. So you have to, if you want change, you have to have the discipline to gather information. Especially now, like we in the age of Aquarius, the age of technology. Your phone is a computer. Your Xbox is a computer. Your PlayStation is a computer. Like, get educated. I guess you can say draw boundaries. Okay. Get educated, draw boundaries. It's like, okay. And discipline. Even if you don't know where you're going, I'm realizing that as I'm getting older, because my Saturn return is coming up. You have to have. I know. You have to have discipline. Okay, because if you have no discipline, if you have no direction, anybody can pull you in any direction. So I'm not saying, especially if you're in your younger 20s, you're not going to have all the direction right now, but just get some type of direction. And you have to be, knowing yourself is also comes with knowing your values. Okay. Pick 5 things that you value, whether it's education, cooperation, reciprocation, hanging around people, ambition, honesty, truth. I like to live my life based on the laws of my eye. So I live that's my guideline. And pick 5 things that are non-negotiable in your life. People have to have these 5 things to even access me or be my friend. If they do not have these 5 things, I can't fuck with you. Now, if you decide to go against these 5 things, then you're betraying yourself. So if you have certain I'll say that's a very practical way. Get 5 things that you value, because your values make your community. A lot of people bond off shared values. Family is bonded off shared values. So you need 5 basic values. I don't fuck with niggas who do this. I don't fuck with bitches who do this. I can't hang with motherfuckers who act like this. Get 5 things. Don't matter. I can't hang with motherfuckers who ain't educated. I can't hang with motherfuckers who ain't sophisticated. I can't hang with motherfuckers who, like, it could be something simple like if you rude to people at customer service. I don't hang with that. I can't hang with people who talk about people behind their back. It's just something. And you stick to it. And you stick to it. And if you don't, you betraying yourself. And if you betray yourself, how you gonna ask somebody else to be loyal to you? You can't even be loyal to yourself. You feel me? Like that's what betraying yourself is. If you establish, hey, these are the 5 things that I value in my, because your values are going to create your life.
That's a fact. That's literally how my journey started. I plucked apart the most positive aspects of myself, turned that into clocks, and then that's what started my journey. I just stuck to those 8 principles, and so yeah, that's 100% facts. Be curious, because that's how it's okay.
You gotta be okay with being alone. A lot of people cannot handle being alone. You have to learn how to be by yourself. You have to.
That's 100% fact. I had some problems with that in the beginning, but then the more I did, the more I started to like it, because I'm like, damn, when I'm by myself, I'm actually able to learn things I would have never found out with all these external energies around me and all these perspectives. Like, dang, what about me? What about my mind? You know what I'm saying? You can't find that when you're all around a million people all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
you got them Pisces placements. So Pisces deals with isolation of the self. Pisces is the 12th house. Pisces is the subconscious. Pisces is, if Scorpio will be like the trench, like you seen them deep water trenches where they got all them angler fish and them weird ass. That would be Pisces. I mean, that would be Scorpio. Okay. Gotcha. Pisces is like you on the middle of the ocean and it's just you just floating on a raft in the middle of the ocean, don't know where you go. But it's that internal navigation that's gonna get you to where you need to go. So usually Pisces requires a lot of solitude because your subconscious, and I be telling people with Pisces placements, y'all can really manifest anything by being delusional. So if you got a Pisces placement, you're already ahead of the game because Pisces can manifest anything out of thin air. Seriously.
Yeah, let's get into it because I love talking about astrology, y'all. That's another one of the things that helped me on my journey. When I found out about it, I'm like, damn, what? This is so easy to learn about myself. So let's get into some astrology, okay? So just for starters, my main 3 signs, because I like to tell you about the main 3. It's not just the sun sign. I'm an Aries sun, Pisces moon, Gemini rising, okay? 10th house is also in Pisces as well. So I have a lot of Pisces. Venus is also in Pisces.
In Pisces, yeah, I saw it. I saw the chart. I was like, oh, this is a water baby.
Yeah. And the more I learn about myself, I'm like, damn, the more I know I'm capable. It's like the things I hear in our research reflect back to my childhood of why I did certain things the way I did. I'm like, damn. So that's why. So astrology definitely explains a lot. And it's helped me. And it's still having me on my journey, you know? So that's 100% perfect. What about you though? What's your astrology background and your signs?
Okay, so according to tropical astrology, which is regular,
right, more
used astrology, Gemini sun, Aries moon, Aries rising.
Ooh!
Okay, so I got a lot. I have a lot of. I have no water. That's the only thing I have no water.
Dang.
I got all earth, fire, and air. So
Mm.
Tupac is also Gemini Sun,
Yeah.
Aries Moon.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is. It's sometimes it can be a journey, honey. Learning how to, because you got to be the avatar. You have to learn how to master your elements. I know how to fire bend. I know how to earth bend. I know how to air bend. I be having a little trouble with that water.
Yeah.
You know, I have a little, but I can hold water because I have an earth placement. My Venus is in Taurus, so I can hold water. I just can't exude it.
Yeah. That's honestly what I'm working on. I'm working on my earth placements, you know, because I got some weird earth placements. I got like Taurus and Mars. I'm like, what? I don't really want that there, but it is what it is, you know. Because I know sometimes I don't be ready to move when I need to move.
Yeah.
It's like so.
I have.
Could you break that down though? Some of the basis of astrology for people who just have no idea.
Okay, so and when you talk about tropical astrology, so when people ask you what your sign is, you're just talking about your sun sign. So, how I like to explain it is, and then I also discovered draconic astrology. Now, draconic astrology is the energy signature of your soul. Okay, that's who you truly are behind the essence of this physical vessel. So I think I'm starting to lean more towards that because that is indeed the true self. Like the draconic chart does not change. You can reincarnate into a frog, into another human being. That energy signature is not changing compared to your tropical, your natal chart. That's just you in the third dimensional world. Okay, that's just you trying to fit into the 3D. So when you have your sun sign, your moon sign, your Mercury sign, the planets are just okay. I like to explain like this. The planets are the what? Okay. The sign that is in is the how, and then the house placement that is in is the where. Okay. So for example, my sun. The what? What is the sun? The sun is your basic identity, how people, how your friends get to know you personally. This is your ego. Okay, this is like your primary focus on why you came into the third dimensional plane. So me being Gemini, the communicator, Mercury. I know you've seen Hercules, the Disney movie, right? What was Mercury doing? He was relating messages from Mount Olympus, from Earth, and back and forth. So that's my central purpose, is to communicate and to gather information. Okay. Now, in Gemini is the how. So how is my self-identity expressed? Through the lens of Gemini. Now, the where is your house placement. So mine is in the second house. The second house is also the house of Taurus. So how my personality or how my ego is expressed through second house things. So things dealing with self-worth, materialism, things dealing with self-value, things dealing with just accumulating resources.
The physical world.
Yes, okay. Accumulating resources. Okay. So, for example, I think you had
my Mercury is Pisces.
Okay, so Mercury and Pisces. So, what is Mercury? Mercury is how your body processes your intellect. Okay, so that's the what Mercury. How in Pisces. How do you express your intellect in the lens of Pisces? So you're more intuitive. Like I think Pisces water sign placements, they feel their way into the world. Okay.
Yeah.
So usually your logic is processed through your feelings. Okay. And what house is your Mercury in?
It's in the 10th house.
In the 10th house. So actually you're doing in your purpose. 10th house. Career, your public reputation. So your 10th house. So you express your intellect on a public platform, or when you are the 10th house will be described. Okay, for example, when we view celebrities on TV, that's 10th house. Okay. Compared to the ascendant, okay, so your 10th house is how I perceive you online. Your ascendant is how I perceive you walking up to you in person. So this is why some people say when I meet a celebrity, they don't act the way I expected them to act because you're looking at them through the lens of their public image.
Yeah.
But when you walk up to them on person and meet, you meet their ascendant, and their ascendant is going to be different from their 10th house. So you have a Mercury in your 10th house, your intellect flows more in terms of your public recognition on your public plane. Okay, getting is really your reputation. There you go. Your reputation, your public reputation.
Dang. Okay, that's deep. Because I've had people tell me, like, bro, it's in a way like the way you convey yourself on social media. It's almost like you're untouchable. I can't reach you. And I don't do that on purpose. I just do, you know what I'm saying? But when they meet me in person, it's like, yo, we cool because that's the Gemini rising. Since my 10th house is also in Pisces, it's like, I don't know, I give off this cloudy, watery, I don't know how to explain it. But
it's like can't really put your finger on it, but it's kind of elusive, mystical.
Yes.
You know.
I've been told that a few times.
Creative. So. They definitely see you as a creative because Pisces are one of the best creators.
Yeah. And now I'm about to get into music. I'm really about to be in my purpose for real.
Yes. So bam, there you go.
Okay, cool. So I wanted to ask you too, because you said this earlier about the readings and the tarot cards. Is that similar to astrology, or is that a whole other science?
That's a whole divination is a completely different thing. Okay. So when you are, for those who do practice magic, whether you do the hoodoo, voodoo, ceremonial magic, there's different forms of magic. Divination, if somebody wants to get into magic, start with divination first. Okay. So divination is using tools, is using physical tools to channel from the spirit realm or the unseen realm. Okay. Now, you got to be careful because I noticed some people channel from different spaces in the astral world. I met a couple people who I tried to kind of connect with, and I can just tell, like, I can say it wasn't like a seance, but it's like they would be in their own dimension in the spiritual world, and they were trying to get me to do it, but it's just like I felt like they were in a different area that I wasn't trying to go in the spiritual realm where they was channeling their information. I didn't like that. Okay. So you can either use tarot cards. Some people use bones. Some people use those little shells. I know the white witches, the Wicca bitches, they be using the coffee. You seen them coffee beans in the cup and shit?
Yeah.
How you got them ground coffee?
I see that.
Yeah. That's a form of divination. You're using certain images to get certain channels and certain information to help either somebody or to see what's going on in your world. Like, I was locked up for 2 days. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, what the heck happened?
I was like, what? I was locked up for 2 days. Okay. And I didn't have my tarot card, so I wanted to figure out what was going on. So and like I said, you don't even have to use, this is what makes a shaman and a magician. Okay. Because a magician probably needs to start out with a structured way of doing stuff. So a magician would be like, okay, I'm just starting out with divination. Maybe I need to get affluent in tarot. I need to get affluent in bone reading. I need to get affluent in shell reading. All right. But the shaman has suppressed all of it. The shaman can look at anything. My lotion can fall off my dresser, and then if I see something positioned a certain way, I'll be like, so what's going on? Like, and that's what happened when I was in jail. Like, I was trying to figure out the energy that was going on, and I used domino cards. They weren't even tarot cards. I used domino playing cards, and I kept pulling certain numbers. So I'm like, okay, 6, 10, 4, and the same numbers kept coming out. 6, 10. So I had to break it down. Okay. 10 of cups, 10 of wands, 10 of pentacles. Okay, 6 mean this. So I was able to predict my outcome based on using some scrunched up, fucked up domino cards in jail. And that's how I knew, like, yeah, I'm on some shit. Like, I'm on some shit. And because I didn't know what's gonna happen. So literally from me, everything that I predicted from me reading those domino cards came true. Basically, the message was, you're gonna be okay. it's just gonna be a burdening process in the future. And it was. For the first couple weeks after I got out, it was a burdening process. I was stressed out about court and stuff, but ancestors had me. I literally had nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's a fact. You an energy manipulator for sure. I could just catch that vibe off of you just by watching your content. You know how to manipulate energy for sure. And you talk about that a lot in your content. Like you talk about alchemy and there's certain things when it comes to energy and stuff. You even bring up really important topics like the divine masculine and the divine feminine.
mm-hmm.
That's what I want to go into. Like, could you break that down for the people because they hear it way more now than when it was said before. Like it's like the number one topic in all conversations when you talk about men and women. Now it's like, oh, the divine feminine, divine masculine, but a lot of people don't necessarily know what that is. So could you break that down, especially for the women watching? What is the divine feminine energy?
Okay, the best way I can describe it, because sometimes my thing is, in my mind and in my spirit, I can process things, but the English language is so dense. Sometimes it's hard for me to.
It's limiting.
Yes, yes, very limiting. Okay, so the divine feminine is just the feminine aspects of God. Okay, so for example, what religion is Yeshua? Who or Yahweh? Where does that come from? Hebrew or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Yeshua is a personification of the divine masculine or the Father God. Ashira, which is God's wife, okay, is a manifestation of the feminine God. So when you have a divine feminine, this is literally God in female form. Now, and she embodies that in her characteristics, meaning she's in her power, she's compassionate, she's fair, she has boundaries, she's firm, but she's open. You know, this is like really, that's the best way I can describe it. It's the feminine aspect of, it's the highest aspect of God. It's the feminine aspect of God. And so when you look at the traits, it's going to be compassion, creativity, nurturing. Now you got distorted feminines. Okay, so the distorted feminines would be women who can't control their emotions. That's not really God. Like women who have no boundaries, meaning they would share their bodies with anybody. Women who are volatile, not nurturing. That's the wounded feminine. Okay, but the divine feminine is literally God in feminine form, the feminine aspect of God, because God is both masculine and feminine. So if God is the highest point of existence, because there is a hierarchy, okay, there's the 9-to-5ers, then it's the entertainment industry, then it's the Masons, then it's the Vatican, then it's the extraterrestrial spirits. When you got your demiurges, you got your ETs, you got your Baals. Okay, then succeeding them is the archangels, and then is the Most High, the I Am. Okay, the source. Okay, so the divine feminine is just the highest aspect of the feminine God.
Gotcha. Okay, so for the women out there, what are some practical things, like some practical advice that they could hear for them to reach that state? Because I know everybody wants to be their higher self, you know. That's the goal out here. So what are some things, practical, real world things, that they could hear, they could do, maybe some rituals or just routines, you know? Because like you said creativity, a lot of things. How do they get there?
Okay, so first it starts with self, because the feminine is the freedom of choice. Okay, so to first get there, women have to build their self-esteem. Now it may be a little harder, especially for women who didn't have fathers or who didn't really have mothers or any type of healthy parental figures, but the first step is to cultivate self-esteem. Okay, how you do that, it varies. You can do rituals, okay, for self-esteem. You can light a pink candle and say some shit. But I feel like a lot of people will just do that because it looks cool. So it's really like you have to become your own therapist. So you have to and really be honest with yourself. Why do I have low self-esteem? Because my daddy was there. Okay. Who taught me that this was okay for me to give my attention to everybody and share my body with everybody? Where is this coming from? Why do I feel like I don't matter? Why do I feel like I have to people please? Why do I feel like I can't say, because a lot of women have problems with that. I can't say no. I say yes instead of saying no when I really want to say no. Why do I have issues with that? Who taught me who taught me not to invest in my looks? Who taught me it's bad to be feminine? Okay. And especially since your platform is a lot of Black Americans, that is a problem in the Black American household, especially when it comes to the women. So in the Black American household, usually the males are more catered to, and then the women are just thrown to the wolves. And even if the women are trying to find some form of femininity, they are called fast, they're called Jezebels, they're called, but we're really just trying to be feminine. Okay. So I know you have to, it's just a deprogramming from that. It's a deprogramming from that. And how you deprogram is you have to detach. You kind of have to denounce your bloodline. There's a quote in the German world where it's like, one who denounces their bloodline is the most powerful. One who denounces their blood, I gotta look that up. But it's a German quote, like those who denounce their bloodline are something like, I'm so mad I can't remember.
It's all good. Y'all better write this stuff down because she is giving some gems. I gotta sit back and just
Yeah,
I'm soaking it because like, yeah, that's really one of the things I respect about you most is that you talk about uncomfortable conversations. Like nobody want to be talking about this types of things, like the things that they really feeling inside, and they hear someone else like, oh, but they need to hear it though. It's like you say the internal thoughts that people want to say, but they just can't, and somehow it's just you just say it. How do you do that? I'm personally asking you, like, how are you able to talk with no filter, just raw? Like,
I was always like that. I was always a kid. I was the kid who on my progress report she talked too much, or I got popped in the mouth. That's why I was excommunicated from my family when I was growing up because they would try so hard to hide things, and I was the truth teller. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little stuff. Like I remember I was in church and I was playing with my cousin and some other kids in church. And mind you, we wasn't loud, we wasn't rowdy. We were just on the pew just doing. And my mama looked over to me. She was like, "You in church, stop playing." And real quick, I responded, "We kids, we supposed to play." Pop. I got popped in the mouth. Like my mom would get me in trouble, but because I guess it's just something that I'm born with. I have to I have to live in truth. Like I don't see how people don't live in truth because it's like in my world, pressure make diamonds. And I notice a lot of people are comfortable in their small realities. And that's how my family was. My family was okay sweeping abuse under the rug, sweeping sexual assault under the rug, sweeping all that shit under the rug. And that's why I kind of don't talk to them now because I don't fuck with that. Like you have to address things. I do not need I just can't because at least the truth will set you free to make you change. And I think people don't like the truth because they don't want to change.
Boom. Right there. They don't want to change.
Change is hard. And I understand it. Change is hard. Change is scary. Change is uncomfortable. Change is, okay, well, how do I let go of something that I've been holding on all my life? But how are you, like a lot of people want money. A lot of people want a good life where they don't have to, when they want to be successful. Because humans want three things. Humans want relationships, recognition, and love. Okay. Now, they want this in a glamorized state. I want to drive this car. I want this. I want the baddest bitch on my arm. I want to be recognized by my peers as this all-powerful, respectable person. But that comes with a price. It comes with a price. And a lot of people who end up making it in a celebrity world, they're successful because they were authentic to themselves to some degree. You feel me? Like all the people, if you look at all celebrity stories, they tell you the same thing. I always knew I was different. people tried to bring me down. But it's like, instead of conforming to that, like Michael Jordan wouldn't be Michael Jordan if Michael Jordan wanted to play like everybody. Michael Jordan had to be different. You feel me? Michael Jackson had to be Michael Jackson. Otherwise, he would have been like his brothers. And so you have to take a risk. Like every celebrity that people look up to have a attribute that was intimidating and was scary to the people around them, but they still pushed through it and they made a name for themselves. So how are you going to ask for this wonderful life that you want, but you not even being honest with yourself and getting rid of the patterns to get there? So it's like I said in my last video, like, you have to meet spirit, God, Allah halfway. God don't come to you. You got to come to God. You feel me? Like, God might throw a little pebble or a little snack here and there to get you to follow the trail, but God is not going to come to you. You got to come to God.
That's a fact. And you touched on a real big thing when you said taking risks, because that's been my whole life. You know, I've always been the risk taker. I'm the pioneer of just going for it, and I'll make it happen after I get there, you know. My family doesn't really like that too much, but hey, it is what it is. I remember I was telling them I'm going to this trip in Atlanta for this DMT ceremony. They're like, heck no. You ain't about to take no DMT. I'm like, I gotta go. It's not, I have to do this. And it was like, don't do it. But I knew internally I was dealing with a lot of self-doubt. And I knew if I took this journey by myself and through this spiritual journey, I would release that and finally find the power that was within me. As soon as I did it, boom, it's a whole different mode now. I'm back. It's like, I know what I can do. I know I'm different from everybody else, my family, and just everybody else in the world in a way. It's like my mind is just, it's I have my own mind, you know?
Yes.
And so that's on, but you can't really get there if you don't take no risks. You can't just think you can just, I'm fine blending with, no, you're not going, it's not going to work that way. You got to, it's going to be a little scary. It's going to be a little uncomfortable, but you have to take the risk.
Got to take the risk. Because I'm noticing that too, especially we both have Taurus placements. Sometimes Taurus, we can get in our comfort zones.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for us to move out of those comfort zones. But it's like, once we get started on something, it may be hard for us to stop. So the only thing about Earth placements is it might take maybe except for Capricorn, but it might take, or Virgo, but it might take a lot of work to start, but once it's just getting that momentum and going. So.
Okay, so we about to wrap it up soon, but I want this new I want to go and use this new little thing I got for the podcast, right? It's called the rapid fire question. So I'm gonna say a few questions. We're just gonna rapid fire, and the first thing that comes to your mind, you answer, all right?
Okay.
You'll get a little friendly with it. You watch anime, right?
I do.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
Yes, Hunter x Hunter.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Telekinesis.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And last question: what was your first impression of me when you found out about me and my content, Clarkson? What was your first thought?
Okay, I knew you was on to something. I knew that you genuinely liked spiritual information because the information that you posted, it wasn't necessarily too mainstream. Okay. Certain people, you can tell a person's mentality by what they post. Okay. So I can tell you wasn't posting the surface level, chakras, and make sure you raise your vibration. You know, raise your vibration and save your crystals. I could tell that you were very intelligent. I knew that you were creative. Yes. And I knew that you had an out of box thinking. I knew you was like me. You was an eyeball. You were the type of person that liked to see things out the box. I knew that.
Definitely. No, I appreciate that.
Yes.
I really do. I appreciate that. It's like once I saw your content, I'm like, you know what? I gotta lock in word because like I said before in the beginning, you helped me in my journey because it's like I'm the type of guy who thinks all kind of things, but it's like it takes time to actually get to the surface, you know? It's like for you, with your thoughts, they just go boom, it's a clean shot right there. You have a very powerful vernacular. So it's like I can learn from that too, you know, to kind of weave through my emotional states and really get to that hardcore truth.
Yes.
That's what'll set us free.
Pisces gotta learn. I know your son is in Aries, but you got all that Pisces. Pisces gotta learn how to
it's
swim.
tough. It is tough.
Gotta swim.
That's why I'll be trying to have so many mentors can kind of latch on to, because like when I just be in my mind sometimes, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a wild place in here. It's wild.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know.
Especially having mutable placements. Like I said, the mutable signs are Sagittarius, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. So the mutable placements are just the aspects of change that go on in just the cosmos and down here. So usually because Aries is a cardinal sign. It's the initiator, right? Mutable signs, earth signs are the sustainers. Okay. Mutable signs comes after the sustainers when you need shit to pick up. And then what's the other ones? I think that, cardinal, mutable,
fixed.
And fixed. Yes. Fixed signs also sustainers. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
I think you on the right path. You doing what you're supposed to do.
And I really appreciate that. And I'm gonna ask you some personal questions outside of the interview. Just because I know you have a lot of wisdom, and I really wanted to take this opportunity. It's a small game for your boy.
No problem.
Yeah. Okay. So, like for relationships, because you talk about that every once in a while. You talk about the traumas and a lot of that stuff. So for relationships, what advice could you give people in my age demographic? Like I'm 23 now, almost 24. Okay. What's some advice you could give us?
Don't use your 20s to find love. 20s are for stuff.
Oh my God. Hey, why does everybody say that?
Because it's true. You're 20. You know, and then looking back on it, you know how much time I wasted looking for love? I wasted so much time where I could have put that into myself. But I'm not going to lie. Some of those romantic interactions did increase my self-value because it's like every time something ends in my life, I already can take the lesson from it. I don't have to figure out why is this happening. It's like, bam, I already know. Okay, I fucked up here. I fucked up there. Okay, go in a hermit mode for about 3 weeks. All right, we back in, we popping. So stop focusing on, you need to, what's that quote that one dude said? He said, stop focusing on trying to be with somebody. Focus on who you're meant to become. Don't focus on who you meant to be with. Focus on who you meant to become. And it's gonna be hard, especially like I said, it's a lot. It's a difficult because a lot of, especially here in the Western world, over in the Americas, we are at the root chakra of the world. So we're at the lowest in this landmass, the lowest frequency of the world. So a lot of young people look for love because they didn't get it from their parents. Okay. So especially men, especially if men didn't get certain love from their mothers or fathers, I be telling my brother, because my brother is 19. And I'm like, the reason why you so focused on getting the girlfriend is because your mother didn't pour into you how you wanted to. So now you're trying to look for something to accommodate what you were missing. So I think that's really this generation's obsession with relationships because they did not get the proper nurturing that they needed as children. And I was one of those people. You feel me? I'm definitely not judging. Definitely not judging.
I got you. That's what I respect. But that's why I asked you, because I know you're gonna be raw and upfront with it. That's
yes.
All right, I respect that. Okay. All right. So for all my podcast guests, I always ask this one question: with all the experience you've had in your life and all the trials and tribulations and everything you've been through, what's one message you could give to the people? Somebody listening right now, they love what you're saying. What's one thing you want to tell that one person?
If you want power, you have to earn it. If you want the crown, you're going to have to take the weight that the crown carries. So, yeah, if you want the crown, be prepared to carry the burdens of the crown. Like CEOs, bosses, or even let me use my military experience. Okay. They're the enlisted and there are the officers. Okay. Officers, highly ranked, highly respected. Officers are them niggas in the military. right? So, but when shit gets real, when some shit really happens out there on the fleet, well, I was in the Navy. When something really happens out there on the fleet, the admiral's not going to be looking at the enlisted, at the E10s and the E4s. They're going to be looking at the officers. Okay, great power comes with great responsibility.
And Sersky, I love that. Okay. That's powerful. Yeah. Don't ask for it if you can't take it.
Don't ask for it if you can't take it.
That's fair. Okay. Well, that's all for y'all, folks. I hope y'all enjoyed. Could you tell the people your social media, where they can reach you, and what you also have coming next? What's next for Shy and Sage?
Okay, so I'm more active on Twitter. So you can follow my Twitter at Shy the Sage. I'm also on Instagram, Shy the Sage Official. You'll see me. I call myself the Emperor because I like to be. I'm not to not only embody my masculine, feminine energy, but I'm also a masculine energy. I'm a bad bitch, but I'm also a real ass nigga too. So, so I'm there. What's coming next is I know that I know I've been bullshitting with my content. Spirit been telling me, and like I said, once you get your Saturn return, maybe you gonna feel that pressure. I'm feeling that pressure. So
you got good karma coming though.
Thank you. I appreciate that. More content, offering a new service. And then eventually I'm still in the brainstorming phase. I'm not gonna lie. But as of right now, I think my focus right now is to continue weekly with my content. Like I will post every few weeks or every couple of months. It's really time to really show the world who I am. So
yeah,
what's coming next is just more content, answering any questions that anybody else. I feel like I'm like a walking encyclopedia.
It's insane how much wisdom you have. You should start a podcast and get you a little pupil on with you and really just go crazy, you know, because you might have
to show me how.
I'll do it 100%.
Because I think I'm starting to realize too, I need to be around my soul tribe. Like I cut the karmic contracts. Because when I said I wasn't coming back to this bitch, I really meant I'm not coming back to this bitch. So the people I met in the past life, I'm cutting the cord to that too. Okay, because you can meet people just because you meet somebody from your past life, that don't mean shit. If y'all wasn't shit back then, y'all connection ain't gonna be shit in this lifetime. If there was drama back then, it's gonna be drama in this lifetime. So cut them cords so I can get up out of here.
You could be a comedian too, because you are funny as hell, I swear. You are funny. But okay, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this wonderful episode of the Clarkson Podcast. Stay tuned for more. She will definitely be coming back. I love this.
This was fun. I like it. This was fun.
I told you I'm a good interviewer. I told you. I'm good at this. You're amazing. So thank y'all for watching. Tap in for another episode. This will be dropping around October 5th. So make sure y'all tap in on YouTube and Spotify. Clips coming soon. And catch y'all later. Peace.